Am I audible? Hello? Hello, Bharat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the last class we were discussed about the introduction. So how the radar device or radar system it will operate. Okay. And also we have seen the radar equation, the simple form of radar equation. Okay. So where we can find out the maximum range. Okay. And also so for the maximum range for the minimum detectable signal. Okay. For this minimum detectable signal, what is the range? So we have found from these equations. Okay. And also we have seen the different equations in which we can say the dependency of the wavelength. Okay. So this is about the radar equation. Now coming to the radar block diagram. So this is a simple form of radar block diagram. Okay. How we can able to send the signal and able to detect it, and we can display that signal. Okay. So this is the display which is in the polar form, where we can find out range as well as the angle. So this will be called it as plan position indicator, so PPI. So this is actually the radar, most of the radar systems which will use for the display purpose, so both for range as well as the angular position of the target. Okay. So now coming to the block diagram, you can see, so this is the simple form of block diagram. Even when we detect the signal, many other factors comes into picture, but those are all not specified here. But this is very simple form of the radar block diagram, where it can be detect the received signal, and as well as the it will display the received signal on the PPI, that is plan position indicator. So now coming to the transmitter side, so there is a pulse modulator and there is a transmitter and duplexer. Okay, so what actually this pulse modulator or transmitter will do? So generally it will generate the pulse signal. Okay, so in the high power signal, like say for example, if you use magnetron, so magnetron it will generate high power. So that will be used as a the transmitter and it will be on and off for some duration to generate the pulse modulation. Okay, so this transmitter it will be having a very high power, and this modulated signal, pulse modulated signal, it will be transmitted through this duplexer. So whenever you transmit through this duplexer, it will transmit through this antenna. So anyhow, we know the antenna is a parabolic kind of reflector, where it will be having high gain and sharp beam. So it will going to transmit maximum distance. Okay. So now this transmitter which will be having the in the power of in the order of the power around megawatts peak power, and also in terms if you take the average power in terms of kilowatts, it will be there. And the pulse width, whatever you use the pulse width, so for transmission purpose, that will be in the order of the microsecond. And also pulse repetition frequency, so when you transmit the pulse serially, okay, so that repetition frequency it will be hundreds of cycles, so hundreds of pulses per cycle. Okay, so that will be the specification for the transmitter. So whenever you transmit that signal, so uh, through the duplexer, so the signal will going to transmit from the antenna. So now what exactly this duplexer will do? So the same antenna it can be used for the transmitter and receiver. So this operation can be so controlled by this duplexer. Okay, what this actually duplexer consists of? It consists of a transmitter receiver module and also anti-transmit receiver module. So whenever it will be used as a transmit receiver module, it will going to only transmit the signal. At that time there is no reception happens. In the similar way, when it is the anti-transmit receive module, if it is on, then the TR module will going to off, only it will receive the echo signal or received signal. Okay, So it consists of two gas discharge type of devices, which are called TR module and anti-transmit receive module. And also this duplexer can be used as some of the switches, and it can be operated like diode switches or other type of switching devices. Okay, so the function of the duplexer, as I said, it will control the transmission and reception. Okay, so now whenever it transmit, so it will, the signal will going to transmit to the target, and whenever it is reflected by the target, the received echo signal it will received by the so antenna. On duplexer it will be, so at the receiving time, so the anti transmit receive module it will going to receive, and it will be sent to the receiver side. So now the general receiver of the radar block diagram, it will be similar like as like communication system. It is like super heterodyne kind of thing. So where it will be having the first stage, the low noise RF amplifier. Okay, so generally this even in the modern radars, so generally they won't use low noise amplifier, because the received signal itself it will be more noisy. So directly they will convert the frequency to intermediate frequency, and they will process the signal. So general super heterodyne receiver, it will be having this low noise RF amplifier at the first stage of the receiver. So after this removing the noise by the low noise RF amplifier, so then the mixer stage what it will do so whatever the carrier frequency which is used at the transmitter side, the same frequency will be generated by the local oscillator, and this mixer, so it will multiply and it will cancel the undesired frequency, and whatever the desired frequency, we need to send it to IF amplifier. Okay, so this will convert the RF signal into IF signal, intermediate frequency signal, where it generally operates in the frequency range of 30 megahertz to 60 megahertz with the bandwidth of around 1 megahertz. So now this IF amplifier, so we need to design it as a matched filter, so that we can extract the phase information as well as the magnitude spectrum. Now we need to design this IF amplifier so in such a way that the magnitude spectrum should be equal to the matched filter. So wherever band pass filter you will design, so the matched filter, the magnitude spectrum should be equal to the IF amplifier, the magnitude spectrum, and the phase will be opposite. That is, so whenever you have the phase spectrum of this IF amplifier minus of this matched filter response, then you will get the phase information. So once you extract that phase information and magnitude information, so that will send to the detector. Okay, second detector, so where it will be, so the magnitude and phase spectrum it will be detected, and that the same information will be amplified by the video amplifier and send it to the display. So now, so as I said, the display will be like plan position indicator, where it will be having the polar coordinate, that is polar form of the display, where it will be displayed the range as well as the angular position. That means this display generally they use so cathode ray tubes, so where it will be the signal level, it will be converted to a intensity level. Okay, so whatever the signal received from the second detector and amplified by the video amplifier, so that will be intensity so modulated, that is the whatever the received signal power, it will be intensity modulated and it will be displayed here. So now wherever the target is there, the intensity will be so more, and even whenever the target is moving, the intensity of the uh, display indication it can be seen in this display. Okay, and generally that the cathode ray tube, so it will be, so you might have seen, so whenever in labs also earlier oscilloscopes, it will be having some intensity values, you can vary that and you can see the signal intensity. So like that, whenever the signal power it is giving to that display, the intensity will be varied and that can be displayed. Okay, so here as I said, the range it will be varied as radial direction. So wherever the whenever it is the target is moving, so the range is also, so it will go on varying with respect to radial direction. and wherever the detection happens through the antenna with respect to angle, so that angle will be a azimuthal angle, so that is in the phi plane. So you might have seen, so in the radiation pattern you might have seen that elevation plane and azimuthal plane. So here the angular position of the target is displayed in the azimuthal position and azimuthal plane. So the antenna is fixed and the beam is so tracking the target. Whenever the beam is tracking the target, whenever it is, say for example, it is a moving target, so then the angular position with respect to that antenna beam, it will going to move. Say for example, if the target is moving like this, then the angular position also it is moving like this. So then we can able to properly say or properly detect the target with respect to the angular position. So even we can represent this polar form in the other form also, that is amplitude versus range. So whatever the at particular range position, you will be having the maximum amplitude of the received signal. So there we can able to find it out whether the target is there or not. So here we need to take care that so some particular uh, threshold level we need to put here. Say for example, if you put the threshold level here, so somewhere here, so then if the target is only having the amplitude which is greater than that threshold level, then we can say the target is detected. So here you can see, here also there is a small target and here also one more target is there. Maybe so this targets may be stationary or it may be moving. So based on the range position, it will go on displaying the values. Okay, so the amplitude values, it will go on vary for the moving target. Of it, if it is a stationary target, then the amplitude will be so displayed at the position which is there, the stationary target. So this is another form of the representation, the display representation in the rectangular form. So this is in the rectangular form and this is in the polar form. So this is how the radar will be going to detect the signal and it will be displayed on the indicator. So this is a very simple form of the pulse pulse radar block diagram. So this is about the detection of the signal and the detection of the target with the display. So this is about the explanation what I said till now. So the transmitter, so it will be oscillator like magnetron and it is turned off and on, so to generate the modulated repetitive pulses. So now for the detection of aircraft, so which is ranges from 100 to 200 nautical mile. So the range in between these ranges, so we need to have the peak power of in the order of megawatts, average power in terms of kilowatts, and pulse which will going to transmit the pulse width in terms of several microsecond, and pulse repetition frequency which will be having several hundred pulses per second. Okay, so duplexer, so as I said, so it will be used for the both the function transmitter and receiver, and also it will protect the receiver since the transmitter generate high power. So okay, so a magnetron it will generate high power. So in order to protect that high power which is transmitted by the transmitter, the receiver is protected by this duplexer. Okay, so as I said, the duplexer which consists of transmit receive module and anti-transmit receive module. Okay, so and the reception, the receiver it will be having the super heterodyne receiver kind of thing, and it will be having the low noise amplifier and such as parametric amplifier. Low noise transistor can be used as the low noise amplifier. So and as I said, this IF amplifier which will work in the range of 30 to 60 megahertz with the bandwidth of 1 megahertz. And IF amplifier should be designed as a match filter so that its frequency response function HFF should be maximize the peak signal to mean noise power ratio. So this will be maximized in order to detect the signal at the receiver. So the magnitude spectrum should be equal. So the echo signal whatever it is giving the spectrum should be equal to the matched filter magnitude spectrum. So and the angle or phase spectrum which will be equal to minus of the echo signal spectrum, that is phase spectrum of the echo signal. So now the pulse modulation, so which is extracted by second detector and amplified by video amplifier. So to a level, that means the threshold level should be set where it will be properly detected and displayed. Okay, so as I said, this is a simple form of the radar block diagram. It will not include many details like automatic frequency change and the automatic gain control at the receiver side. So this details is not include, so it will automatically compensate. So in the modern radar system, the receivers also includes this AGC and AFC, so which will automatically compensates the, so some of the like noise levels and frequency changes. And also receiver circuits for reducing the interference is not included in this block diagram. Okay, also the transmission line joints and unwanted signals. Okay, so and also circuitry for discriminating the stationary targets from moving targets. So only just here it is shown like a stationary target is there, it will be displayed as per that the range information. So even if it is moving target, it is not included. So how it will going to, so change the position with respect to the amplitude of that so received echo signal, so which will find the target. And also which we discussed pulse compression for the and advantage of this pulse compression to achieve high resolution, so that is not included. And also angular location of the target. So this plane position indicator, it will only give in the azimuthal plane. So even if you want in the other planes, so that will not be there, so with this indicator. Okay, so this is about the radar block diagram, so simple form of the radar block diagram. So as we progress, then we can see what are all the other types or other methods they can able to find the moving target or the stationary targets by using the other methods also, and including other functionalities also. Okay, so now coming to the radar frequencies. So what are all the frequency ranges the radar can be operated? So generally, so it will be conventionally that named it as some bands designation. So this is generally, so the band designation which will be done by the military and for the to protect the information of the signal which will going to transmit. Okay, so this band designation is generally in the military purpose used for the secure the information, so which will not taken by the other people. So for that uh, purpose, the band designation is included in the military, but later on it will be the conventional, it will happen, and the IEEE standards and the International Telecommunication Union, so they will assigned and they were calling regularly these bands used for the frequencies. For different frequencies, this bands designation can be, so they have decided and they are using. So even they are having the frequency range which is specified nominal frequency range, but all the frequency range cannot be used in the whole band. Only some specified frequency range which is assigned by the International Telecommunication Union and radar system, so only that frequency range it will be utilized, and other frequency spectrum it is not utilized. Okay, so the radar which is operated at very low frequency as at 2 megahertz, which is called as so high frequency over the horizon radar. So this is the radar which is designed it for very low frequency at the time of the world war which is happened. So it is at 2 megahertz. Okay, so this is the very low frequency radar which is designed at 2 megahertz. So now the conventional radars so generally have been operated between 220 megahertz to 35 gigahertz, and also maximum frequency range they have designed up to 94 gigahertz. So this will be called laser radars which operate at the higher frequencies also. So this millimeter wave radars which is operated at 94 gigahertz. So these are all the different band designation: high frequency, very high frequency, and UHF frequency. So which is the frequency ranges, and L band, S band radar, C band radar, X band radar, like that. So different band designation is used. Okay. So now if you see the electromagnetic spectrum, so where the radar frequencies it will come. So you can see here it is very low frequency, and the wavelength in the order of 10 kilometer, so where the audio frequencies which will be there. So and coming to the low frequency, it will in terms of kilometers, and medium frequency, so and high frequency in terms of meters. So where the radar frequency start from here, so 220 megahertz, very high frequency. So where the wavelength of the wave which will be in terms of meters. Okay, so the band designation start from 1 gigahertz, that is L band 1 to 2 gigahertz, S band 2 to 4 gigahertz, C band 4 to 8 gigahertz, so X band 8 to 12 gigahertz, and K band 12 to 18 gigahertz, like that. So it is gone, so increasing the frequency where the band designation changes. And here the wavelength which will be changed from meter to centimeter and also millimeter waves. So where the highest frequency millimeter wave radar which is operated at 94 gigahertz. Okay, so this is a different bands which is used in the electromagnetic spectrum and radar frequencies which is assigned by the International Telecommunication Union. Okay, so this is about the radar frequencies and radar bands which will be used to design the radar systems. So now coming to the radar development prior to the World War II and history how it was developed. Okay, so the first experimental radar system operated with the continuous wave. As we have seen, there are two types we can use: continuous wave as well as the pulsed wave. But first experimentation which is done by using the continuous wave signal, and this continuous wave signal which will be detect only, so the range which is there, the target range, and it is not giving more information. And also it depends on the, so the detection of the interference produced between direct signal of the received from the transmitter and frequency shift, that is Doppler frequency shift of the reflected moving target. So only it will not give the more information, it will just detect, and it will give the, if it is a moving target, it will give the Doppler frequency. So later the other information, angular information, and the where exactly the resolution of the target, all those things it will be come through the pulsed radar. Okay, so first the before to the radar system which is developed, so James Clerk Maxwell, which establishes the electromagnetic light theory. So later this Henrik Hertz, which is experimented on this existence of electromagnetic waves and proved this the theory which is proposed by the Maxwell. So after these two, the Marconi established the first communication using this electromagnetic wave. So first he sent the signals with some large distance around, so 1 to 5 kilometers, and he tried to establish the connection, that he tried to establish the communication, and he receives the echo signal, so which is reflected by some of the obstacles. So and also he established the communication using the radio technology. And first he tried to use the wire and wooden tent pole. So this, the pole which is wooden tent pole, which is actually the used as a antenna. Okay, so that will be simple form of the wire antenna, and he used for that one for the communication. So that's why the Marconi first he establishes the communication. That's why he is called as the pioneer of the wireless communication. Okay, so next, so Nikola Tesla, so he suggested that the reflection of electromagnetic waves could be so used for detecting moving objects. Okay, so he tried to establish, or he tried to design radar system with the moving targets, where he measures the uh, deflection in the frequency, or the shift in the frequency, and he is try to say that the moving objects also can be so detected. And later in 1904, the Halsmeyer and other scientists, so they have detected the targets in the water. So either like traffic the monitoring, so monitoring the traffic in the inside the water, and he measures some of uh, the metal objects, or like some of the others which is there, stones or obstacle which is there inside the water. So this is the first radar experiment, so which is established under the water. Okay, so now the type of radar originally, so which is developed using continuous wave interference signals, or continuous wave, by using continuous wave. So there, so they will use different, like separate transmitter as well as separate receiver, and they will establish, or they will design the radar, and that is which is called as, so bistatic continuous wave radar. So bistatic in the sense, so the different transmitter and receiver which will be used, so because of that it is called as bistatic. So the continuous wave which is used, so that's why bistatic continuous wave radar. So now after that, invention of the magnetron happens in 1921. So as a powerful transmitter tube, so where it will be generate the high power in terms of megawatts. So after this invention, so they try to establish, or try to design the radar with the pulsed signal radar. Okay, so they after this invention of magnetron in 1922, two electrical engineers, that is Taylor and Young, in Naval Research Laboratory, so USA, locate a wooden ship for the first time. That means this wooden ship acts as a target or obstacle. So they have detected this one from a so large distance. So this is the one of the, so best obstacle or best target to design. And they have worked from this lab, Naval Research Laboratory. They have given the fund for to detect this whatever the obstacle, which are the size and shape of the target, which is in the order of the, in terms of meters. Okay, so later in 1930, from the same lab, that is Naval Research Laboratory, another scientist, Lawrence A. Haaland, locates the aircraft. So for the first time, so wherever it is in the sky which is going, so the aircraft, so he is detecting that aircraft in the same, from the same laboratory, and he is trying to find out the location of the aircraft, as well as if it is moving, so he is trying to find out the location of the moving aircraft. Okay, so that is 1930, so he invented. And 1931, so the other two scientists, so British from the England, so they were designed the radar system on a ship. Okay, so parabolic antennas with horn antennas were used as a transmitting and receiving antennas. So since these antennas, horn antennas and parabolic antennas, having high gain and which will produce narrow beam, so it will be easy to detect target with a high resolution. So they have used these parabolic antennas and horn antennas. So they have designed the radar system in 1931. And in 1935, so the first practical attempt for the early warning radar for civilian applications they have designed. And even they have located the aircraft with a distance of 10 kilometers. Okay, so the range it is go on increasing, so as the radar system is developed. And in 1935 they were able to detect the aircraft at a distance of 10 kilometers. And also the radar was designed at 28 megahertz, and also even with the higher frequency 200 megahertz. First they are trying to design at 2 megahertz, as I said, over the horizon. So only they have to find out the exact location, or where the exact the origin will be going to be located when we send the signal. So for that, so they have designed at 2 megahertz. So later they have designed at 28 megahertz. And later the frequency go on increasing up to 200 megahertz. So where, so in this radar, so they are employ a duplexing system. That is, so as I said earlier, they were having a bistatic radar, so where the transmitter is having separate and receiver which is having separate. So from the transmitter they will send the transmitting signal, and the receiver they will receive the received signal or echo signal. But here, so both transmitting and receiving for the both transmitting and receiving, same antenna is used by the usage of the duplexer. So by using this, so they were able to design a monostatic radar, and the range which will be designed for this monostatic radar is 10 to 12 miles. Okay, so later in 1939, so the University of Birmingham in England, so they were developed the radar with the usage of powerful magnetron, so which will be uh, at the micro frequency to build the B-17 bombers. So in order to uh, send or locate the uh, bombers, so they designed to uh, design a radar system with a powerful magnetron. Okay, so this is a turning point for submarine war, and they have started the world war at the time of World War II. So they have tried to generate these bombers, and they have put in that war field. Okay, so in 1940, so another scientist, German scientist, so he developed pulse, that is intra-pulse modulation and subsequent pulse compression. So by using this modulation method and pulse compression method, he tried to design the radar. So in 1939, USA Army so developed the SCR-270. So this is a one of the long range radar for early warning detection, and the attack on Pearl Harbor, so which is happened at the Pearl Harbor in December 1914, which is detected by this the same radars SCR-270 at that time, and this detection happens by using this the technology which is used, the pulse radar technology. And in 1940, so different radar systems which is developed by different countries. So since at the time of World War it is majorly required for the target detection, so that's why so all the countries which were uh, uh, there in the World War, so they are trying to use this radar system, and they are trying to build their own radar system. So like USA, Russia, Germany, France and Japan, even many other countries, they are trying to uh, develop the radar system at that time. So now the development of this air force become important performers, because uh, whenever happens that world war, so air attack is one of the major importance. So the radar system which will build on the aircraft, that also primary importance. So that's why they are trying to use the radar system in the large numbers. Okay, so after this Second World War, so the radar method used in like other civilian applications like remote sensing, so aircraft landing system and weather control and other applications also they try to use so this radar technology for the other purposes. Okay, so now coming to the applications of radar, where are these applications can be utilized and can be so used. So it can be used on the ground as a ground station radar, and so where we can establish the ground station, even you can communicate the satellites using this radar system, and you can properly land the whatever the systems which will be used in satellite on the moon or on the other planets and all. So this radar can be utilized as a ground station, and also it can be used in the air, so on the ship wherever we want to protect our military systems, and also on the sea, so and also in the space. So ground based radars have been applied chiefly to the detection, location and tracking of the aircraft. So generally this air tracking it will be very much required. So this will be ground based radars is used for the tracking of the aircraft or space targets. Now shipboard radar as used as navigation, so where exactly we need to go and we need to monitor the so navigation, so their shipboard radar will be used, and also it will be very safety device. So even we can observe the other ships as well as the observe the aircraft from that shipboard radar. Okay, and airborne radar may be used to detect other aircrafts, ships or land vehicles. From the top they will send a signal to the sea as well as the ground, and they will try to detect the target. So if it is any unwanted target which is there in the premises, so they will going to send the signals and they will try to attack that one. So like that, so many different radar systems were developed. And also the agricultural field where the mapping of land required, so that mapping of land can be done by using this radar. And also the storm avoidance, so weather radars can be able to use for this avoidance. And also terrain avoidance, where the navigation system, so it will go, and the terrain, if it is not properly, so proper, if it is not proper terrain, so that can be avoided and we can go other side also. So like that, so the terrain avoidance will be there. And also for the, as I said, navigation. So the major contribution from the radar to the military applications, because at the time of World War, for the military, this radar is the so main concern for the detecting of the targets. So that's why it is major contribution, it is going to the military application. But still there is increasing in the, nowadays they are increasing the radar system design to the civilian applications also. So now coming to the, what are all the other applications, like air traffic control. So it is to purpose safely controlling the air traffic, and also en route the other aircrafts to the proper landing. So here it is, the requirement is high resolution radars are required, because so it needs to be safely control the air traffic. So it is high resolution radars are required, otherwise the if the proper signal is not given, the collisions it will happen between the aircrafts in the air. So that's why the high resolution radars are required, where number of aircrafts which is uh, traveling, so it will be so properly controlled. And radar with GCA, like ground control approach, so where this radar technology with ground control controlling processing systems, so these together it will guide the aircraft to a safe landing in bad weather. Say for example in a rainy season or in winter season, where the fog or mist, it is most of the times it will be there. So in that time, so this will very useful, so ground control approach. So this will be send the proper signal where, when it is going to land and where it will be landing properly. And also in microwave landing system with widely used ATC radar beacon system. So other these uh, systems also, the radars can be high resolution radars, it is used and it is required. And in aircraft navigation, the weather avoidance radar, so used on aircraft to outline the regions, so where the weather it is not proper, so we need to avoid those conditions or those places in order to uh, not to go the uh, whatever the aircraft which is there. So for that aircraft navigation, when it is going also, if the bad conditions are there, so we need to send the signals to the aircraft, so that it will be properly go to the aircraft landing. And it will not go to that weather where it is the weather conditions are bad. Okay, so that aircraft navigation systems, so these radars are very useful. And so even terrain avoidance, so even wherever it is the terrain is not proper, so there also we need to send the proper signals, and we can avoid those terrains. And also ground mapping radars of moderately high resolution, which are used as aircraft navigation purposes. So for the ground mapping and ground station, even radars with moderately high resolution, which is required. And also shift in ship safety, so where it is the radars is used to enhance the safety of the ship which is traveled. And so this potential the collisions of the ships also it is avoided, where the detection of navigation bios, so where other obstacles which are there, especially so in the poor visibility, as I said, in the winter season, or like in the rainy seasons. So because of the bad weather conditions, so the safety of the ship which is used in naval systems, which will be very much carefully, so we need to take care. So for that purpose, so even in the wherever it is fog or mist or even more rainy seasons are there, so these radars can able to detect other obstacles, so where we can able to move, so and we can protect our ships. Okay, so and automatic detection and tracking equipments, so which are all so used in the so modern radars for the avoidance of collision. And also shore based radars of moderately high resolution is also used for surveillance of harbors, so with the aid of navigation. So for safety also these radars can be used. And also as I said, in the space communication, so where we need to establish a communication through satellites to send them in different planets or moon, so there also we can use these radar systems. So these space vehicles have used radar for so renders waves and docking. That is, they will lock the for a particular uh, frequency, and even they will uh, properly land on the moon or whatever planet you will going to send. So the for this the largest ground based radars are used for detection and tracking of the satellite. So whenever you establish the communication with the satellite, so this largest ground based radars is required, because the processing whatever the signal which will receive by the ground station radars from the satellites, so that will be more the details will be there and the details will be processed, and so that is required the ground based radars. And even we can correct if it is any problem it is there in the ground based radars, so that we can rectify very much easily. So that's why this ground based radars it is used most of the space communication with tracking of satellites and detection. Okay, and even remote sensing also, so where the whatever the objects which is geophysical objects and the weather conditions, so we can able to detect, and we can use the radars which will be early warning can be given, so that they can able to control that, or they can able to send the information to the required place. So that is useful in remote sensing and weather control. And even in remote sensing we can use in agricultural fields, like in the foresty conditions and geographical information, also in environmental pollutions, so where we can able to detect that, and so the measurements of that conditions can be so send the information. And also in the law enforcement, so use of this radars measure the speed of the traffic, that is automobile traffic, and even in the highways, so that can be the whatever the speed of the vehicles we can able to detect, and that even intruder detection systems also can be used, and these radars can be employed to detect that. So as I said, most of the applications which is or most of the radars which are developed for this military applications, so but even so other radar systems is developed for civilian applications also, but the maximum utilization of the radars, so it is only for the military purpose. Okay, so this is about the applications of the radar. Okay, so now we'll stop here and we'll continue the next class.